Hi, it's Pastor Paul L. Anderson here at the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, where we believe God's blessings never stop flowing. It is Marvelous Monday. What a powerful time that God has blessed us with, that we have seen a whole week since that resurrection celebration. And yesterday was the second Sunday in Easter, and we're just so grateful how God has blessed us. And again, thank you all for the wonderful ways in which you poured out and showed God's love on yesterday as we got a chance to share God's love and share it with everybody that we see on an ongoing basis day to day. I'm just so happy that even during this pandemic, you and I have been in touch. We've been in touch virtually. We've been in touch via FaceTime and all the wonderful ways in which God gives us that we may have not physically seen each other. And I miss your presence. But those of you who I have physically got a chance to see, we're just so grateful how God has blessed us to be together again. You know, God always gives us something to do. And today is Marvelous Monday. And let's take a look at how marvelous God is and what he does. Today, our passage comes to us out of that book of prophecy in the New Testament known as the book of Revelation, the first chapter, verses 9 through 20. A very powerful story. This is the story of the vision of a man. Now, John begins to see all of what God has done. He looks at the suffering of the kingdom, and he looks at the patience of all of the things that God has allowed us to see. He talks about Jesus and how he does wonderful and great things for us. Now, John is on this Isle of Patmos. While he is there, he's been banished for preaching the gospel. And he writes a letter, a word of encouragement to all the 7 churches in Asia Minor. And as he writes this letter to them, he begins to remind them how God sees them and how God has seen them as a candle on a candlestick. You know, it's always important to know that whenever you have a candle on a candlestick, it's of no value unless the light has unless the light has found itself illuminating from the candle. And so when you and I allow the light of the gospel to shine in us, we give light to everyone around. So John begins to write to these churches, and he tells them how God sees you. It is always important to know in this dark world that God sees you, that God recognizes us, that God knows who we are. And as he writes this letter, he begins to say all the wonderful things about God has also held these 7 churches as stars in his right hand. And he has a 2-edged sword that comes out of his mouth, and how this word comes to all of us and tells us not to be afraid, because Jesus says something that is so powerful as the Revelator writes it. He writes it by saying, I am the living one. Now, remember, we talked about just a week ago how Christ was crucified and how he is now resurrected. He reminds them that Jesus Christ is alive forevermore. He has power in his hand. He's at the right hand of God. He's making intercession for you and me. The text teaches us and helps us as we look throughout the Bible that after that morning of crucifixion, for the next 40 days, Christ was seen with his disciples. As he was seen with them, he began to share the good news with them. He even ate bread with them. He ate fish with them. He even walked through walls. That reminds us how God wants to do something great in our situations. As this letter is written to those churches in Asia Minor, these 7 churches, he lets them know that God knows what you're doing and that God has set you to be a lampstand before him. You know, we sing a song, and I remember singing the song as a child, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. He's reminding all these churches, let your light so shine before men that others might see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Today, on this marvelous Monday, be a shining light into the world. Let everyone know that the light of the gospel is illuminating from us, with us, in us, and through us. And that we want to be a light to the world, that the world might know that the God we serve is awesome and he does all things exceedingly and abundantly well. Today, I want to remind you that you are exceedingly and abundantly blessed. And in this year of 2022, God has some awesome blessings in store for you. So keep on shining so everybody will know that somebody has left a light on. I'll see you on tomorrow.
To sow a seed to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, visit our newly redesigned website, thefountainofraleigh.org, and select Sow a Seed from the homepage. Also, giving has been made easier with the new Fountain of Raleigh app, available now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Download today, select Giving from the main menu, and then follow the directions to complete your giving through Subsplash.
Thank you so very much for all of your gifts and donations that you've given to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship. We thank you for what you've done in the past, what you're currently doing, and what you will do in the future. Your gifts and donations helps us to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, not only locally, but throughout the world. Thank you again for your gifts, and may God continue to richly bless you. It is here at the Fountain that we believe that we are exceedingly and abundantly blessed, and may you receive those blessings that God has in store for you.